So I am here with Kym Nash, who is a writer for the award-nominated show The Carnage Returns, with 5 shows set to be performed in the Brighton Fringe Festival across May and June. First of all, Kym, thank you for coming on. What can we expect from the show itself?
So The Carnage Returns is described as a horror comedy musical, and what to expect is you can expect a lot of double entendres. You can expect all the best you'd see at maybe like a West End show, and it's so much fun. I genuinely think The Carnage Returns is unique because I've not seen a show on Zoom the way The Carnage Returns deals with just everything in the show. It's a really unique show. Basically, long story short, it's such a unique show. It does things that most Zoom shows would be scared to do, like to have musical numbers. Anyone who knows Zoom isn't the best technology to be playing music and as well as keeping time with music as well. So it has a lot of challenges, but we think we hit the nail on the head, and it's a really funny show. And there's nothing else like it, I don't think.
And you did allude to it there, the fact that it is all going to be virtually on Zoom. What was the inspiration behind it being on Zoom? Was it just the fact that it was COVID happening, or was there another reason why you wanted to go down the online virtual route?
So originally when we wrote the show, it was the people who wanted to be involved were all in different countries, and COVID was a huge part of it. And we were sort of like, okay, there is no way we're going to get the other 5 cast members in a physical room. So we were like, okay, how do we do this? And my co-writer, Michael Monkhouse, said, why don't we do it on Zoom? Because then, it doesn't matter how we do it. And it really went from there. So we used Zoom as a basis for the script, as a baseline. And we went, okay, what has Zoom shows done before and what hasn't been done? And we sort of used the script. And I think the show utilizes Zoom in a way that I don't think any other Zoom show has. Just like I say, the fact that, it's a horror comedy musical. In one scene, you could have someone singing about, dealing with psychotic thoughts in their head by having brain freezes to, maybe like a Hamlet multiple murder in the next scene. So it's like, it transitions very well, and I think the script helps with that.
You mentioned before that obviously the characters are all in different countries across the world. So you've got people such as Christine Knowlton, who's playing Melanie. You've got Maggie Levine playing Paula, Lloyd Legacy Sharp playing Constable Richard Staines, and of course yourself as well. What would you say each person involved in the show brings to the table? What sort of different features to each character or each actor or actress bring to the table for you?
Yeah, so Lloyd brings he brings a lot of heart to the show, because obviously in the script he's sort of the main narrator throughout the show. So he's telling people about the character Marvin, who's a little bit messed up in the head. He's a little bit messed up in the head as the show goes on, and the audience sort of realize, okay, this guy's extremely messed up in the head. But Lloyd brings a lot of heart to it, and that's all of us love him in the cast. He sort of brings he just brings so much heart to it, and it's really humbling at times. Maggie, who was part of the writing team, the way our writing team works, me, Michael, and Maggie, is Michael brings the double entendres, I bring the characters, and Maggie brings the plot. So the only reason the show makes sense really is because of Maggie. But Maggie, interestingly, Maggie is also one of the understudies for Richard Staines, which is quite interesting because we have a different character name for that. And yeah, Maggie's just brilliant. She's a really talented writer. Christine is our tech person as well as Melanie. So she's sort of our stage manager, so to speak. So she just follows my instructions, really. But all the cast bring heart and so much to it. It's incredible how much they bring to the show. And then there's me, who gets to act like a psychopath for an hour. So I'm just there. I don't even come on for the first 7 minutes. For the first 7 minutes, I'm just there like, okay, here we go. So yeah.
I'm very interested to see as well the fact that you mentioned that everyone's in different countries. I'm very intrigued to find out, how did you guys all link up together? Because obviously different countries. I know we're in a Facebook and Instagram world. Is that how you got together? Was it through social media, or was it through some other way?
So the way all of us linked up was actually through Zoom comedy. We were all doing basically the same Zoom shows every week, and I already had the character of Marvin during the pandemic, and the character has changed so much since I first wrote him. When I first wrote him, he wasn't as psychopathic as he is. He was sort of this very cartoony type character, so you could drop so many pianos on his head and he'd still come back maybe the next skit as if nothing happened. And then when we started writing Carnage Returns, we wanted to give more of a backstory to him, because once again, he was a cartoon character. You've got to give him some sort of motivation. And then the whole idea of Marvin being a little bit messed up in the head actually came really an inspiration for Marvin's sort of dark humor in the show really comes from Beetlejuice, because all of us on the writing team are massive fans of Beetlejuice. So we wanted to pay homage to that. So so Beetlejuice is one of the big inspirations. But once again, it all goes back to Zoom. Zoom was a major part in not just bringing the cast together, but just getting the show on the road.
And in terms of, it's all obviously virtual, do you ever see yourselves one day doing it in the person, in the flesh, or would you think it's always going to be, due to the fact that you're in different countries, it's always going to be a sort of virtual event?
I would love to do it physically one day, but I feel like because it's done so well on Zoom, we took it to Edinburgh last year and it got really good. Everyone was happy, the people who came to watch it, they were like, okay, yeah, this is really good, this is unique. So really, one of the main reasons we wanted to bring it back to Brighton was because we had such a good run at Edinburgh, we had a good run at Watford, and we felt like, things coming free, best for free, we might as well take it to Brighton, because we hadn't taken it to Brighton at that point. And yeah, I feel like if we were to do it in person, it wouldn't be as good. I think the physical aspect of it would mean a lot of the script wouldn't be possible to do. So we wouldn't be able really to do half the things that happen in the show on a physical stage, because you'd have like set movements, or you'd have lighting cues, musical cues. But I think that's why it works so well as a Zoom show, is that you barely need any tech. All we use is literally the computers that we have and the phones, and we go from there.
And being the nature of Zoom and using the internet, has it ever gone wrong with the technology since doing the shows?
Yeah, so there was a rehearsal recently where basically I think it was our Dr. Oddfellow, which is played by Michael Monkhouse. His computer just died halfway through a monologue, and he basically disappeared for about 15 minutes. And we were all in this Zoom room, and at this point, I've just done a scene where I'm supposed to murder him, and I'm there I'm like, right, I'm being a very patient murderer here. Like, I'm being the most patient guy. Like, even Ted Bundy wasn't this patient. And then when he came back, it was just like, oh, sorry, man, my computer died. And I'm like, look, I've been waiting to kill you for the last 15 minutes.
I can imagine that does cause some issues, and I think that, I imagine for you it's probably an area of sort of concern, not concern, but sort of always in the back of your mind. There probably is that factor, isn't there, of thinking, oh no, it could just go wrong at any time.
Yeah, when we did a preview of it for Edinburgh last year, there was one moment in particular where I was singing a song in the show which is called The Whole Being Dead Thing, and basically my internet cut out after the first two lines, which ended with Being Dead Thing. Yeah. And I was basically frozen on screen for about 5-10 minutes. And all the audience had heard this dead thing, and they genuinely thought I had died. And then I just popped back in, and they were doing the final scene. And I'm like, hang on a minute, we've just skipped a 4-minute song. So it's one of them things. But luckily, normally Zoom's been on our side, luckily.
Yeah, hopefully it stays that way. And then final question in terms of the show itself, is there sort of a goal for this year's show and beyond for the years? What's the sort of overall sort of target you guys have, you and the writers have with the show itself?
So the goal, the way I would say it, the goal for Brighton is to open the show up to as many people as possible, whether you're a fan of musicals, whether you're a fan of horror. There's so much in this show. There's something for everyone. There's pop culture references, like some of the references. There's Spice Girls references. It's weird. I love how I point out that specifically. It's like, yeah, Spice Girls are the main theme. No, there's movie references. There's something in there for everyone. So we're hoping everyone who comes to see it at Brighton Fringe will enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, then okay, fair enough. Point taken. We get it's not your thing. Just keep buying our tickets, and then we can keep the show running. But it's I think after Brighton we're taking it, hopefully, fingers crossed, back to Edinburgh for one last run. And then we're currently looking at a story where one of the characters in the show, Chance, we're currently looking at doing a spin-off to that, where we sort of play on this idea of what happened if something along the lines of what happened if this in Carnage Returns didn't happen, and how would that character react to it? So it's sort of Chance, the character Chance's sort of own story is what we're looking at doing in the future. But at the moment, Brighton Fringe, we're looking forward to it. It is officially, the Brighton Fringe run is going to be the longest run of the show we've ever done, because at the moment, the longest run we've done is 3 shows over 2 days. So doing 5 shows over like a month, it's for the cast, considering it's a Zoom show, it's a lot to ask for. You'd think, oh yeah, jumping on every Saturday night, it's fine. It's not when people actually have lives now. Because maybe a year ago, when we did it back at Edinburgh, it was like, our lives have got nothing to do anyway, so, you know, we're all fine. But there's something for everyone at Brighton, and we just hope audiences enjoy it just as much as we enjoy doing it.
Yeah, and it should be a good show when it happens. So before we go, this first one has been my interview with Kym Nash. Before we do go, first of all, where can we find you and the show on social media, and where can people buy tickets?
Yeah, so you can buy tickets on the Brighton Fringe website. They go on sale at the time of recording. They go on sale this Friday, the 11th of March. They're relatively cheap. Friends of the Fringe, get them for £2.50, or if you're not Friends of the Fringe, you get them for £5. You can find the show tickets on there, including times and sort of what sort of description of the show or what to expect. You can find myself on Instagram at Kym Nash Stand Up, and I normally post pictures from behind the scenes during rehearsals, because we are currently in rehearsals. And it's looking to be good. But for up-to-date information on the show, because as anyone knows with shows, the cast is subject to availability and change. So best place to go is to facebook.com/Reckless Comedy Podcast, because on the day of each show, we'll be announcing who's performing in the show on such days. So that also gives you guys who are thinking of buying tickets more of an opportunity to keep coming back, just in case there's someone playing a role that you wanted to see them in a different role. It rotates. So, Brighton Fringe is the main website to buy tickets on.
Fantastic. So, anyone listening or watching, do check out the website link, all the social media pages that Kym has mentioned. And in terms of you, Kym, best of luck for the shows in May and June.
Thanks very much. I hopefully you might come and pop along and enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I might have a little visit down there one time.
Join us for the whole Being Dead thing. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I'll make sure I'm there for that.
Excellent.
Thank you, Kym. Cheers.
No worries.